I'm currently in one of my son's classrooms here in the forest kindergarten. We always have such a wonderful energy, these places, after the children have been spending so much time celebrating life here. I will travel soon to see my biological family in the UK. I've seen them once in the last 3 years, and that one time, which was March this year, everybody caught a virus and were sick, the whole family, ourselves included. So it wasn't the best trip as we had hoped it would be. As I prepared to leave, I recognized something inside me. Last week we were supposed to go, and funnily enough, we all caught a cold from my son's kindergarten. If you have small children, you will know this dreaded scenario when they are at kindergarten or nursery school, that they bring home endless colds, etc., and sniffles. And so I did not get to go when I hoped to. And it created some tension inside the body, inside the mind. And that tension came for the same reason everybody else's tension tends to come. A refusal to accept what is for an image in the mind of what should be. Now you have to be loose with that. You can't be rigid, because self-improvement is important. If you are addicted to something and it's destroying your life, then of course you should not accept this as an image of who you are. But if you are going to overcome that, a point of honesty must arise where you do accept, where you tell yourself, I am an addict to whatever is draining your vitality. I am an addict to this, and it's not letting me live the life I want to live. I don't have this discipline in this area. It's not letting me live the life I want to live. There comes a point where you have to be very honest and lay all of that in front of you. And in accepting that, addictions, bad habits, they lose their grip on the organism because you've started to shine light on them. You've moved beyond the flesh and its impulse to do something, and you following the flesh's impulse, which triggers the mind, which then sends your mind wandering off to do whatever it is addicted to. When you accept it and you tell yourself it, you gain some power. You gain some space, some freedom to inquire into it, to look at it, and to start working towards ending it. Now that acceptance is also the challenge for those who are not feeling joy and comfort in their life. You must overcome the elements of the body that are not behaving how you know will lead you to a better life. But when life throws you something that's unexpected, like illness or a change in a schedule that you really in your mind had an image you were going, if you can't immediately accept that scenario as your reality now, suffering will start. Because your mind is trying to betray the spirit of truth, which is reality here and now. Here and now, the schedule changed. Here and now, you became sick. And the mind will try to make you remember when you weren't sick. It'll try to make you think of a time where you're better. It'll do nothing but center itself and say, I'm starting from here. I'm sick. Or I'm starting from here. My plans have changed. The plans my mind held for what reality should be at this time, they've changed. This is where the technology of the mind takes you away from the present moment. This is where the arrogance of the ego sitting on the throne takes you away from the peace of God. Because here now in the presence is the peace of God. Something happens and your mind's image of what should be happening isn't happening in front of you. You start fighting it. You lose inner peace. You return the mind and accept this is happening. This is where I am right here, right now. You can start working towards solving the problem. But most human organisms delay solving the problem whilst they busy themselves in a mental conflict about what's happening. We have these images that we should have a perfect life. We have images that we should be a certain perfect person. I'm very guilty of this as a human. Very. And I need to be shaken from time to time and said, hey, it's okay to not be your mind's image of perfect. Because that's not God's image of you. That's not God's plan for you. That's all corrupted and polluted from various sources and perceptions that the mind has picked up on its journey from childhood to man. There is a peace in acceptance, and this is not passivity. Acceptance awakens the freedom of your intelligence, because acceptance relaxes the body. And when that happens, the intelligence, when you accept the scenario instead of having a mental conflict about it, I don't want that to be happening. Who doesn't want it to be happening? It's happening to the organism here and now. Who's the one rejecting what has happened? The opinion of the self. And so this is just another way that the mind, the technology of this mind in this human organism that we are, separates us from the peace, the presence, the will of God. The world is happening, and you can't necessarily control it. You can impact it, you can change it, but you cannot change the future unless you fully accept the now. And that now must be brutally accepted. You must accept every single decrepit element of your shadow. Every single weakness and flaw, you must accept it and see it. And as you accept it, piece by piece by piece, you will relax into the realization, the humility of what you are. And then the freedom comes. This human organism, it has an addiction. It has an addictive pattern of returning to work under the notion I must to ensure the provision of the children. A totally arrogant pattern. Completely arrogant. For God provides. Of course, we must make some effort to do that, to do God's work. But I have an addiction even when I'm tired and I know I should rest. It's the mind not accepting reality. And so if I sit with my own decrepitness, my own arrogance, my own pride, my own lowly nature, which is very much part of what I am, I illuminate it. And as it becomes illuminated, I move into the spirit of truth with self. And you can't change the self unless you're honest about it. And this is what most don't want to do. We are far too busy blaming other humans, blaming the circumstances, and refusing to look at what in us needs to be altered. The image you have of how the world should be, how your individual life should be, if it's in conflict to how life is, will persistently make you uncomfortable, take you from the truth of illuminating what you are. If you let go of that image and accept the scenario you're in, you'll awaken the freedom, the peace, the love, and the intelligence whereby you can actually start changing the world and your life. But that awakening must come. God bless, guys. Don't let your mind do it to you. Any influence this world has on your body, any plans of other humans to enslave your body to the world, any plans of the fallen ones, which are here, they all rely on you lying to yourself about what you are. For awakening can be a very dirty business as you drag yourself through the imperfections, and in dragging yourself through them and becoming aware, you conquer them. God bless, guys. I just want to take a brief moment of your time to share with you about an exciting project we have going with the charity until the end of the year. The project's name is 2000 Strong. It has gotten off to a great start and we thank those already involved. For those not involved, please stick around and hear why we are making this happen in the human story at this time. I'm going to give you an example of why our community is needed, why this solution is needed, and why 2000 Strong must manifest. This is Kelly. Kelly now lives safely in our community, in our village, in our family. However, when Kelly was found, her story was very different. Kelly had been starved to the point of near death. She had been burned and tortured by her father. This happened because in a society with very little education, in a society where superstition still surrounds things like disability, her father believed that her cerebral palsy was a demon and that he should fast this demon out of his daughter, that he should burn this demon out of his daughter. And of course, cerebral palsy is not a demon. It's a medical condition that needs to be cared for and nurtured, as we do at our children's village. Kelly now lives a good life. She's happy, she's full of joy, as it should have been all along. But Kelly is also one of the lucky ones, because there are a great many children out there who are still waiting to be found. 2000 Strong is a project to try and find 2,000 volunteers to fundraise a minimum of $100 each between now and New Year's Day. We say a minimum because if you go over, it may help. If we only get 1,000 volunteers or we fall short of 2,000, it's all welcome towards the goal. That money will be used to build stage 1 of a new village for special needs children in crisis, a village located a 10-hour drive away from our current location. When that village is done, it'll provide a whole solution for over 500 special needs children who are living in circumstances like this. At this time, I don't know of anyone else fighting for those children, and I can't do this without the resources I need. For whatever reason, you can hear my voice, and so I'm putting this out as a call to arms to help me to manifest this solution which is needed in our human story, as these children do not deserve to remain in the dark any longer. They need a safe, loving family home. 2000 Strong helps us to build stage 1 of that safe, loving family home and a permanent solution for the country of Tanzania forever. If you're interested, please visit www.sharetanzania.com/2000strong for more info, or you can reach out on any of our social media channels. Thank you for the love and support, guys. The work we do, the family we have, would not be possible without you.